Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Harang Choi and I am finally done with my step 1 exam. So on today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips so that you can perform better on test day. I wanted to film this video before I forget all of this vital information that I remember from test day, and so if you want to do better on your test day, make sure to watch till the very end. So without further ado, let's begin. Tip number 0. Scheduling permit and passport. Before we go into the main tips, this may sound obvious, but before anything, make 100% sure that you do not leave these items before you leave your house. Them being your scheduling permit and your passport. Yeah, make sure you don't forget those 2 things in order to take the exam. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's dive straight into tip number 1. Tip number 1, visit your test center prior to test day. One thing that helped me a lot on test day was not having to think about how to get there, the direction to get there, or wonder where the building is located and how to get to the 6th floor or things like that. So for example, my building, when I visited a month prior to my exam, I saw that there was a huge Nike store on the 1st floor of my test site. And basically the main entrance to the building was nowhere to be found, and there were like some weird doors on the sides, but they were not the main entrance. And if this happened on test day, I would have panicked and I would have lost essential energy that I needed to put into my test day. And so make sure to visit your test center ahead of time. For my building, I figured out that the main entrance to the building was all the way behind the building on the very back side, and thankfully, I was able to figure it out, and on test day, I didn't have to worry about any of these things because I have already visited the test site and I was familiar of all the ways of how to get there. Yeah. So if, for instance, you are driving to your test center, or if someone's going to be driving you there, make sure that you get to estimate how much traffic there will be on that day so that you won't be late on the exam. It's better to be early than to be late and not be able to enter and take the exam. So make sure you know how to get to your test center. Tip number 2, wake up early and get there early. You know that this test requires a lot of stamina and it will last for the whole day. You will have to last for the whole day, and in order for you to do that, it's essential that you wake up early and prepare yourself mentally and emotionally and all these things. So what I did, my test was supposed to start at 9 a.m. and I woke up at 5:50 a.m. and I ate a really good breakfast because I knew that by the time I was going to start the exam, I would be extremely hungry. And so I had a really good breakfast, and then I packed all these things that I need, which actually I packed the day before, but I made sure that I checked that I have the scheduling permit and the passport in my bag, and then I went straight for the exam site. And waking up early will help you reach to your test center early as well and be on time. I actually got there to the test center on test day an hour and a half before my start time. It was a little bit too early, but I think the ideal time to get there would be around 45 minutes to an hour early, because they specifically instruct you to be there 30 minutes before test time. But if you go beyond just even 1 minute, you won't be allowed to enter and take the exam. So make sure to get there early and be prepared. Tip number 3. Now this one is really high information for you guys. Tip number 3 is wear appropriate attire. And what I mean by this is preferably don't wear anything with a collar, don't wear anything with pockets, don't wear jewelries, watches, and anything like that. This can vary per site, but I know for sure from my friends sharing that it's pretty much the same also in the Philippines, and it was on my test center as well. But every time I took a break and went back into the testing area, this was how it went. So I would go back to the testing area after taking a break, for instance, using the bathroom, taking a sip of water, and eating a piece of dark chocolate, and I would go back, and immediately once I go back, I had to put down my glasses, give them my passport, and I would have to stand in this area where they specify, and the guy who does the inspection, he would ask me to lower my mask so he can check my identity again every time, and then roll up my sleeves, both arms, and then the next thing was he wanted me to put my hands out like this, up and down, So he would check that, and then the next thing he would do is check all my pockets. So on test day I didn't wear anything with pockets, but still I had to turn around just for him to check. And then so if you have pockets, he will have to check all your pockets. So make sure that you wear something without pockets to make that time faster, because your time is running and your break time is running, and you don't want that break time to be consumed too much, so that you have enough break time till the end. And yeah, and the next thing he asked me to do is roll up my pants up until my knees for both my legs, and then put them down. And that was the end of the inspection. After that, he gave me my passport and my locker key, and then I was able to go back into the test center. But remember, this didn't happen in the very beginning, but this happened every time I took a break. So the more things you have for him to inspect, the longer this process will take. So in order for you to minimize that, you want to wear clothes that do not have pockets and do not have collar, because I heard that you have to lift your collar if you have a collar and things like that. So tip number 3, just so you can maximize your break time, is to wear appropriate attire. Tip number 4, use your breaks wisely. As soon as you finish a block, the screen will give you two options to start the next block, to proceed and start the next block, or to take a break. There is no suspend the block option on test day, which means once you start a block, you can't stop it midway. You have to keep going and finish it, and you can only take a break in between blocks. And if you decide to take a break, you click the take a break button. The screen will show you a summary of the total time you have left for your break and the total amount of time you have left for the whole day. So you can pretty much check and calculate how you can partition these remaining break times through that summary screen. And once you check that, you can get your passport and your locker key and then go out of the testing room. Most of my mentors recommended that I take a break after every block, so that's what I did. And I also highly encourage you to take a break after every block. This will help you last longer, and this will help you less tired towards the end of your exam, because by the time I was answering my 6th block, I was feeling a little bit tired, and I did better in my 7th block, but when I reached 6th block, I was kind of like, my brain was really tired already. And so in order for you to last longer, make sure to take all those blocks. And based on my opinion, I had enough time for my breaks because you skip the tutorials, and so those tutorial times get added to your break, which makes you have roughly a 55-minute break. And every time you finish a block early, that remaining time gets added to your break as well. And so you definitely have enough break time. And so I highly recommend that you take a break after every block. Tip number 5, water is life. This is also something that was emphasized under the USMLE video on test day strategy for 260 plus. Brain needs water, and it will be essential for test day. So I am gonna tell you that I brought a lot of water on test day. I brought this whole bottle and another bottle. So I brought 2 of those, but they were kind of not enough. Basically, on test day, you will be wearing your mask and you are slightly hyperventilating because you are slightly stressed, of course, because you are kind of like alert, and this is a very important day of your life, and so you will get thirsty very easily. And so make sure to bring a lot of water, because I had to drink a lot of water in between my breaks. And by the time I was ending my block, I think I had to ration my water towards the end, because I knew that there weren't enough left. There were I think this much left before my 7th block, so I finished that, but I knew that it would have benefited me if I had more water. So make sure to bring a lot of water, because it is essential for test day. And other than water, of course, you have to bring essential nutrients and good food for test day. Make sure you don't bring anything heavy. Make sure you bring high protein, like granola bars, dark chocolate. I honestly didn't have to eat much because of, I think there is this adrenaline rush when you are taking the exam. So in between breaks, I only had to drink water, and I ate my dark chocolate tablets, and roughly halfway, actually after my third block, I ate half of my egg sandwich that I brought for test day, and then other than that I didn't really eat anything else. But make sure to bring high protein food and not high carbohydrate food, because you will get a sugar crash and it will just make you tired and your brain might not function well if you do that. And tip number, this is bonus, but this is just miscellaneous stuff, but it might still be important to you, and I think you might want to know these things, so I'm gonna share with you guys. So as soon as you are given the okay sign to enter the test center, they will tell you that this is your test seat area. Once you sit down, they will tell you that you can immediately start your exam. And the first thing you will see on the screen will be to check the audio. So they will have noise cancelling headphones and the regular headphones. So you can put that regular headphones on, and the thing will ask you like if you could hear the right side of the headphone, so you click yes, and then they will also ask you if you hear the left side of the headphone, and then if you hear it, you can click yes, and then once the check is done, it will proceed immediately to the tutorials. And there are basically different sections for the tutorials, but you don't have to read any of those because you know how to use the interface. And so during the time when the tutorial is shown on the screen, what you do is on the paper they provide you, it's usually a paper or a laminated thing, and they give you like this pen. So while the tutorial screen is there, you write all the biostats equation that you will need and the pharma equation that you will need on the exam, so that once you get a question, you don't have to remember it, but like you can just like refer to that paper. After you write all the biostats equation, you can skip all the tutorials so that the time you take in the tutorials will be added to your break time. So once you skip all of them, you will be proceeded to the first block, and then you can basically start the first block after that. And another thing, before you enter the testing area, they will give you the paper. Depending on the test site, it's a paper or, yeah, as mentioned, laminated paper. They will ask you to write down the CIN number on that paper. Make sure you write it legibly, because you will need that CIN number every time you come back from your break. So once you take a break and come back and sit in front of the computer, as soon as you are about to start the next block, they will ask you your CIN number. And so the CIN number that you wrote on that paper, that's what you're going to type in. So make sure that you write that CIN number legibly so you can read what you wrote and type that in every time you take a break. So that's another tip. And other miscellaneous stuff that you can take on your test day is additional cardigan in case the place is cold, and you can also bring Tylenol in case you start having a headache. So yeah, I think that's all about it. If you have any further questions on these things, make sure to comment down below. And if you had different experience on your exam site, do comment down below as well, so that other people can see it and get some help from it. Yeah, so those are my advices. I hope all of this information is going to be helpful for you on your test day, because I know that a lot of you are going to be taking the exam soon. I wish you all the best. I know you will do great. Believe in the process and all the hard work you have put into this preparation, and shine brightly on test day. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. It will be a great help to my channel, and it will bring joy to my heart. So yeah, thank you everyone, and I'll see you guys again later. Bye!